The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Schaap. You may know me from ESPN's Outside the Lines and Sports Center. What you probably don't know is that I've suffered from Crohn's disease for almost 20 years. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America's Take Steps, Be Heard walk program is the largest national walk program dedicated to raising funds and awareness to combat Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. To learn more about how you can help and to find a walk site near you, please visit www.cctakesteps.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire is Rod Eccles.
And a good Tuesday morning to you, one and all. Here it is, Tuesday, June number 6 in the year of our Lord 2017. Today is another dark, cool, not late spring-like kind of day here, and rainy. I'm just wondering, when are we going to see the sun for more than one day at a time around here? I mean, really, it is a very dreary day out there. And it seems to be affecting some of my, shall we say, technologicals? Is that what they call them? The computers seem to be running slow today. All of them. Including my iPad. I have no idea. Just a slow day today, I guess. That there's a rip in the time continuum. Is that what the movies call it? There's a rip in the time, so it slows everything down, I guess, today. I don't know what it is. I would say it's a Russian plot. The Russians are hacking time. We've got some stories about that. About that. Well, you've probably heard about Reality Check. That's not her name, but Reality Lee Winner. Yeah, I think her original name, her government name, was Sarah Lee Winner. Still, that's a pretty strange name. Sarah Lee, really? You named your kid Sarah Lee? Yeah, after the food. Well, so I bet her parents are also, she's 25, right? So that would mean that her parents are probably baby boomers. It is. That means that, probably her parents are probably at least around 25 when she was born. Who knows? She could be the early Generation X. That's kind of sad, but most likely a baby boomer parents, because she's a millennial. And she obviously changed her name to Reality Lee Winner. Reality Winner. Who would do that? In any case, folks, the call-in number this morning is 603-835-3226. 603-835-3226. Got a lot of stuff out there. The most important thing today, though, is that today is the anniversary of D-Day. Decision Day, if you will. Today was, the day that Defeat Germany Day. Today was the beginning of one of the most massive military efforts of all time. We can look at movies and we can look at documentaries and see where they went wrong, see where they could have done things better. Sure, Tuesday morning quarterbacking. But let me tell you something. I have no idea how those men did that. To run up onto to be one of the first to run up onto a beach like that, knowing that your chance of death was probably greater than 99.9%. And yet you still did it. I'm in awe. And this is from watching a myriad of movies depicting the day, as well as actual documentarian video. I mean, real news video of the day. Frankly, reporters back then and videographers back then, they put their profession to shame today. I mean, think about who we have in the profession of news reporting and news videography today. News filming. We got CNN today staging a protest, and they're defending it. Well, he didn't really stage it. It's on film. I see it all over social media where CNN is trying to defend what the CNN videographer did. They say, well, the police let them through. Well, that's fine if the police let them through. That's irrelevant. The problem is that your videographer, while he's videotaping, is arranging them, directing them, and staging them for a better news shot. That's not news. That's making a movie. But folks, this is what we get today. Reality TV really isn't reality. You know what they call it? They say it's unscripted. Do you realize what that means? It's not. Now, let's take this for a second here. We are locked into this era of reality television programming. I mean, there's so much. Well, first of all, it's pretty damn cheap to produce, and we're stupid enough to watch it. I don't watch it, but it's not really called reality TV within the industry. It's called unscripted. Why? Because there isn't any written script, which is why they say it's unscripted. But it is scripted. We've seen and heard time and time again where these people were trying to, the producers of these programs were trying to get a certain outcome. So they would ask certain questions or present the reality star participants with certain scenarios in the hopes of getting a certain, getting certain feedback or an outcome. None of this stuff does not happen often naturally. It is staged, although it is unscripted, meaning there isn't some script writer somewhere typing down, putting the script to words so people have to memorize it, but they're still scripting what you see. And then it's also very interesting to see behind the scenes once they get all of this video back to the editing room and they start putting these things together. I can't tell you how many times that I've seen, some stuff about behind the scenes in some of these reality shows. Do you know that they actually change the sequence of events sometimes? You would think that reality TV means that, you go in time sequence. When something happens, you keep going through that time period. Did you know that they edit things to put things? Let me just give you an simple example. Something happens at 12 noon. Then something happens at 1 p.m. Then something happens at 2 p.m. Do you know that sometimes they put what happens at 2 p.m. before what happened at 12? It changes your whole perspective. They do that. That's not reality TV, folks. That's why they call it unscripted program. That's why I don't watch any of that crap. Most of it isn't real at all. I mean, what is it? What is some of the biggest stuff that's on today? I mean, now keep in mind, this is what most people alive today, their grandfathers went through on D-Day to preserve. I mean, think about this. We're now watching the biggest shows on TV are Dancing with the Stars and The Bachelor or Bachelorette. Now, I don't watch any of those programs, but I mean, I know that they're popular. And I've seen episodes, here and there of Dancing with the... You want to talk more fake drama? Seriously? These people are going to cry because they're trying to dance? A lot of their dance moves that I've seen are not all that complicated. And look, I'm not trying to take away from people because some people just naturally, they don't have rhythm, so it's very difficult for them to dance like that. I get it. But there's no drama there. I mean, I just can't believe I can't get it. I just want to do this so bad for my family and for my... I'm like, please. Come on. Let's not force the drama. And is anybody really taking The Bachelor or The Bachelorette or whatever those types of shows are seriously? Are you seriously telling me that some guy or some woman is going to go on a TV show and have a whole harem full of women or men who are at their well? There's also there's a gay version too, right? Is there a lesbian? I don't think there's a lesbian women might be the smartest people out there right now when it comes to reality TV. I don't think they have a Bachelorette lesbian version show. There's a gay version, and then there's a straight guy version and the straight girl version. Are you kidding me? And every time I turn around, I go to the grocery store. There's the picture of these people being promoted, like The Bachelor. Oh, he's so lonely. How the hell can he be lonely? There were 13 women vying for his affection. But this is what your grandfather, most likely your grandfather, stormed the beaches of Normandy and other French beaches to allow you to be able to do today in freedom. And to have a news organization like CNN actually try to defend and try to lie to people. I mean, this is a news organization on Twitter trying to lie to people who have seen it with their own eyes. Oh, he did not try to stage the event. He's on film staging the event. Who is there to trust anymore? I mean, seriously, who the hell out there can you trust? None of it's real. We call it reality, and it's not real. Even the news isn't real. And this is not the first time. Look, we're going back to the 1980s that I know for absolute sure. We're going back to the 80s. Remember when 2020 faked the Hyundai, that little Hyundai SUV flipping thing? Remember when that came out? That was in the 80s. And 60 Minutes, also in the 80s, did a few things that turned out to be unreal. So we've got news organizations that are staging the news. So is it any wonder that the news staging would turn up to be in our entertainment, and we call it something that it really isn't? We call it reality, and it's far from reality. And then we make it to a day like today when we are reminded that there was no do-over, there was no rewind, there was no cut on D-Day on the beaches of France. Well, I don't know. What do they call that was it Hyundai, the little 4x4? It was Hyundai, I thought. One of those little SUV things, the tiny ones. I remember there were guys driving those things, and we used to call the guys gay because it was a girl's SUV is what we thought. Yeah, I know. We'd be called sexist today for what we thought back in the 80s and 90s. Cars, there were certain kinds of cars that were geared towards women and certain kinds of cars that were geared towards men. And if the opposite sex had the wrong car, they were considered to be kind of odd. Well, there's this little SUV thing. Thank you guys over there on the chat, in the chat room. It's called the Kia Soul or it's a Suzuki. Suzuki, that's it. Suzuki side. By the way, a Kia is a Hyundai, by the way. It's kind of like Chevrolet and Cadillac is a General Motors. Kia is a Hyundai. Yeah, the Suzuki Sidekick. Remember the little Suzuki Sidekick thing? You probably don't. Well, I don't know. If you didn't watch 2020 I used to watch 2020 religiously, and then they came out with that thing, and they got caught staging that flipping of that little tiny SUV as being a dangerous thing. Yeah, by the way, that was the start of the anti-SUV movement. I kid you not, it was the start of the because SUVs before that time were not really big in the USA. I mean, they were specialty items, but they weren't huge. They weren't huge sellers. The huge sellers were minivans, not SUVs. So you had this backlash against, they made these small little, I guess you could call them, what were they? They may have been a crossover at the time. They didn't even know they were crossovers because they were so tiny. I think they were built on a car platform. They weren't even built on a truck platform like today's SUVs are. They were built on a car platform, I think. But evidently they flip pretty damn easy in dramatic turning. But anyway. So we've gotten to the point now where everything, it is called reality, but it's not reality. So we don't even know what reality is anymore until we get to a day like today, June 6th, when we commemorate and remember what thousands of men did in storming the beaches of France to save the free world from tyranny, fascism, and oppression. And just 2 or 3 generations later, look what we got. If you look at any picture of D-Day, of any of those men, there's not a damn snowflake among any of those.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
And now a message from our sponsor. Ladies, tired of drying your hair with the same old vacuum cleaner? Try Avon Shade brand new Beauty Locks portable hair dryer. It's smaller, it's faster, it's guaranteed to give you the hair you've always wanted in half the time. Beauty Locks is delicate and dainty, just like you. The dryer weighs only a pound and easily fits in your hand. Now that's beauty and convenience. With a speedy motor that will dry your hair in as little as 25 minutes, you can get gorgeous hair without falling behind schedule. Don't worry about the little ones or that pie in the oven. Thanks to an extra-long extension cord, you can move around while primping your locks. Forget those long trips to the salon and no more waiting for hours under monster machines. Avon Shade gives you an easy and speedy hairdo that will blow your man away. Get it now at your nearest Macy's.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
(603) 835-3226. That is the call-in number for this Tuesday morning edition of the Rod Eccles Show. Glad that you are here. By the way, speaking of Tuesday, here is today's holiday list for today. Yes, we have holidays, quite a few holidays today. Obviously, as people know, today is the commemoration of the start of D-Day. Decision Day, Death Day, Doomsday, whatever you want to call the D for. It is the commemoration of something that thousands of brave men did. I gotta tell you, I'm not so sure. I know a lot of those. They were all young men too. Most of them were under the age of 25, and they were all scared to death. I don't know if I would have been able to function under those conditions, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I'm being serious. I mean, that's just, I don't know where our government was able to find. That's the number of American men that they found to be able to do that is just amazing. Amazing. I'm in awe. I'm in awe of what humankind can do to one another, but to endure it. And notice most of these people, now I'm not taking anything away from people who actually experience things called PTSD. But notice how most of these guys, they went on to live long, normal lives. We got a bunch of snowflakes that can't seem to anything you say to them affects their psyche for the rest of their life. Get a job. Hey, what do you mean I'm a loser? Well, yeah, but that's not what I said. You said get a job, you damn snowflake. Any case, today is also Atheist Pride Day. Yes, atheist. Well, to go along with Gay Pride Month, I guess, you got Atheist Pride Day is today, and you have a Drive-In Movie Day is today. National Applesauce Cake Day. I've never eaten applesauce cake. Today is also National Gardening Exercise Day. It is National Eyewear Day. It is also National Higher Education Day. National Hunger Awareness Day. I get a story about hunger, man. Today is also National Yo-Yo Day. And believe it or not, today is also, this is kind of perfect because there's some new stuff about the Russia coming out today and yesterday. But today is also National Russian Language Day. How do you have a National Russian Language Day in the U.S. of A? I'm still scratching my head over that one.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
603-835-3226. There is there's a lot to be said about the World War II. Now understand, coming up into World War II, this is the generation. Well, it's called the greatest generation. Now, I'm trying not to be I'm not trying to be diplomatic about what I say here, but I am not trying to be disrespectful. So bear with me for a second here. Now, you have to understand that the World War II generation is also called the Depression era babies. These are people. Now, you got to understand, these are people that were born obviously in the first within the first 2 decades of the new century, of the 20th century. And these are people that were born probably right around the time of and just after World War I. So frankly, their parents were involved in World War I. The World War II generation. Those who fought in World War II, many of them had parents who were involved some way or another in the First World War efforts. Which means that your grandparents, born in the 20s and 30s, had direct link to pre-20th century knowledge. Their parents were probably born in the late 1800s. They at least had grandparents that were definitely born in the 1800s. And there was massive change happening. Now, change was happening faster at that particular point in time than it had ever happened before in humankind. Much like we're experiencing today. Within, if you're a baby boomer or you're a Generation Xer, or even if you're a millennial, if you're an older millennial, the changes that we have seen over the past 30 years would blow people's minds away. People who are long gone, they're dead. But if they were alive today, they would tell you this is incredible. Well, now think about all the changes that happened at that particular point in time when this country basically went from being an agrarian society where everybody got around by horse and buggy or railroad to being able to have their own car and roadways being paved all over the country. I mean, it's fascinating, and having to go from the messenger, the post, the mail being delivered by Pony Express for over long periods of distances, to having the telegraph, to having the telephone, and not only going from the telegraph and telephone, but also having going from radio. Being able to broadcast your voice invisibly over vast distances via radio. Now, television didn't really come around until the 50s. But so there were some vast changes, immense changes that happened during those two generations. The World War I generation and the World War II generation. I mean, it's amazing. The changes that happened during World War II. You want to talk about technological advances just in the 5 years of the war. It's incredible. So it's understandable how some things could have gone by the wayside. All of a sudden we were, each successive generation had it better than the previous generation. Now comes along the World War II generation. They come back from World War II victorious. So what is there to do? We have all of this technological and manufacturing ability at our disposal. And things just blow up. So what happens? Parents, even the World War II generation parents, they come back from the war, they spoil their kids. Now think about this. You have A Christmas Story, the TV special, annual movie, Christmas movie, A Christmas Story, that takes place in the 30s. What was that dad doing? Dad and mom, they're spoiling their two little boys. Now think of those boys growing up, having kids and families of their own in the late 40s, early 50s. What do we know about the 50s? Well, it was the great suburb expansion. A new culture, new traditions were being formed, and baby boomers were being born, and they were being spoiled like you would not believe. So then the baby boomers grow up and start having kids themselves. Well, they start having these, little, what we call millennials. Well, now the baby boomers, having been spoiled by the greatest generation, they decide, well, we've got to one up the ante, so we've got to make sure that our kids have it better than we had it, and we had it pretty damn good. Yeah, I mean, think about it. Most of us baby boomers and Gen Xers had it pretty damn good. Did we not? Well, now you got to. How are you going to best what your parents did? You'd think that's pretty damn hard, right? Well, it was hard until technology gave us a boost and we spoiled the hell out of her. I mean, today we don't even, when I was growing up, I wanted something. My parents would say, go get a job. As a teenager, well, get a job. You can buy it. You can save for it and buy it. Now, I'm not saying my parents didn't give me stuff, because they did. My dad helped me purchase. I paid cash for my first car, but my parents helped me. My dad co-signed the first car loan that I took out. I think it was for $1,000. He co-signed for it. I mean, so I'm not saying I didn't get any assistance in that direction from my parents, but I worked for just about everything else. I had to have a job to pay for it. They weren't paying for that car. I had to pay for it. They weren't paying for my first car. I had to save up the money for it. I wanted that dual cassette radio back in cassette recorder, portable radio. The big boom boxes back in the 70s, 80s. I had to get a job and pay for it. They weren't buying stuff like that, but they gave me a ton of other stuff. They did a lot of other stuff for me. So we grew up having it pretty good. So now, kids today, they're the product of their parents having it pretty damn good. But the thing that most of us failed to instill on today's millennials is a work ethic. Even still, most baby boomers and Gen Xers, even though they had it better than their parents and they got spoiled, there still was instilled a work ethic there. If you wanted beyond what your parents could afford or give you or wanted to give you, you had to go and get a job and work for it. Start your own little lawn mowing business if that was the case. I mean, a lot of us did. Or shovel snow in the winter if you lived in the northern climes. So you did that. We did. But then somehow, somewhere, some way, that ethic did not get passed on to millennials. And millennials never had to suffer through any hardships. Now, the baby boomers and Gen Xers, we had to go through some pretty tough times. I mean, nowhere near as tough as what they went through during World War II, don't get me wrong. But, we went through the Vietnam War. We went through various conflicts during the 80s. And, most of us, and when it really came down to it, when we got into Desert Storm or Desert Shield and Desert Storm, it barely even touched us here. If we didn't actually know somebody who was there, we didn't know there was a major battle going on in the war, in the world that we were involved in. Because we have been that much removed from it. I know we had CNN at the time, and it was showing us pictures, much like they showed us pictures of Vietnam, but we weren't being touched by it at all. Because we were so isolated, and thus we isolated our children even more. I can remember a lot of parents not wanting their kids to see anything having to do with Desert Shield or Desert Storm. And if teachers wanted to bring it up, no, parents are right there. You're not going to talk about that. We insulated these little brats from everything. They didn't know anything. And we kept spoiling them. And as technology progressed, what did they get? They got their own cell phones, and they got their own computer games, and they got their own, we were lucky if we got an Atari, which as a kid, I had to buy my own Atari system. My parents didn't buy that for us. But, kids get the Sega Saturn systems and the Ataris and the Nintendos. And then they started getting cell phones, and now you go into some millennial kid's house, and you go back to their childhood home, and you find out that not only did they have their own cell phone, but they had a Nintendo, an Xbox, and a Wii. They had 3 or 4 different game systems. They had a laptop and a desktop. I mean, you want to talk about spoiled. And they didn't have to work for any of it. Mom and Dad just came home one day and said, "Here, Johnny, Susie, you need this for school probably," and just handed it to them. And then we find out yesterday that the teenagers today are not seeking employment nowhere near the way they used to. And you wonder, well, what are they thinking? Well, they're thinking that somebody's going to give them everything. Because that's the way it's always been. They've never been told by their baby boomer or Generation X parents to go get a job. I mean, seriously. There is no, I hate to say it, but there isn't a lot of fight in America anymore. The millennial generation doesn't have any. I mean, they think that they have fight because they can go and stand out in the streets and attack innocent bystanders and break business windows and put torch limousines and while wearing their stupid mask and hats, and they call themselves Black Lives Matter or Antifa or Occupy Wall Street. Are you kidding? There are countries in the world that are still sending their kids to military school. Well, our little brats are running around the street thinking that everybody should be giving them stuff. That's a recipe for disaster. The Western world pampers and produces snowflakes. The Eastern world and the Third world, same generation, is producing male and female fighters, soldiers, and destroyers. Now, at some point, within the next year, I was going to say at some point, those two cultures are going to clash. Well, guess what? They already are. Guess who's losing? It's not the Eastern cultures. It's the spoiled brat Western cultures, and these spoiled brats don't even realize they're losing. As a matter of fact, they're doubling down trying to protect those who are destroying them. In any other generation, we'd call it Stockholm Syndrome. The difference is that today, the millennials, they're the snowflakes, they're not entrapped or imprisoned by some mean, abusive captors, but nonetheless, they're circling the way. Who gets hammered every time they speak out against something like this? Well, the right. Donald Trump. Donald Trump takes on London stand's mayor, and Donald Trump is the one that's bashed, not the mayor who seems to be supporting jihad in London, England. You've got people like Kathy Griffin who are supporting, most Muslims are peaceful. That's bullshit, and they know it. But yet and still, they will stand and defend the Muslim while the Muslim faith is over there in the East decapitating and assassinating Christians. And still in this country, they will hold Christians accountable, but not Muslims. Who does that? Who praises their captors and yet denigrates those who want to free them from the captors? See why I say we're losing? It's just amazing. So it's good for us to reflect on this today. Today being D-Day, the commemoration of D-Day. When we had a generation that went to war, and they went over there, and they didn't come back from over there until they won over there. Today we go over there, we see one or two deaths, and we're like, oh my God, we got to get out of there. We can't do this. I mean, we're losing our babies' blood and treasure. We can't do that. And we'll cut and run before we win. Even when, I guess that the cut and run was established during Vietnam. It really was. Hey, let's get out of Vietnam, cut and run. Let's go over there, but let's not try to win. And let's get so sick and tired of not trying to win that we just actually cut and run and leave half a country to some tyrants. Yeah, let's do that. Let's set the precedent so that whenever we lose our own intestinal fortitude, we can just cut and run. Hey, Iraq, I know we've had too many people, 2,000-3,000 deaths over there. It's not worth it anymore. Let's cut and run. Let's leave the Iraqi people to themselves. Really? This is what we do now? I wonder how many soldiers that participated in D-Day, if they had a looking glass to look into the future today, I wonder how many of them still would have stormed those beaches that day.
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face and sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5+2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
You know, it's just one of those things when you're a kid, you don't realize the world around. I mean, let's face it. You're a kid. Your whole world is your neighborhood or your school. That's it. You don't know much else. Even as a military brat, I mean, I got to experience multiple different neighborhoods in multiple different places. But still, your world at any one point in time is your neighborhood or your school. That's it. You don't know much of anything else. I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't care where you live. Or, you know, what culture that you grow up in what country. That's pretty much it for a kid, because that's just the way human beings are. And that's for a reason. You know, we have to look to those who are within our communities that teach us properly. So if we grow up in a household, in a community that teaches, you know, people are all special and being spoiled all the time, well, you're going to get a generation that's... Look, one of the main reasons why China dropped this one child per household thing is because China has its own snowflake problem. Do you realize that? People don't realize that. China has its own snowflake problem. It's different from our snowflake problem, but they still have their own snowflake problem. Where they have all these, especially the problem with having, now boys are just far outnumbering girls. And so there are a number of things that the Chinese are now having to deal with, now that those one-child households have all grown up. And the Chinese government doesn't particularly like this. So they decide, well, we're not going to have this. Well, the euthanizing of girls to the point where there are a lot of, there are boys way outnumber girls. They have a problem with rampant homosexuality. They have a problem with crime rising because all these, snowflakes, they expect, because everything was given to them as a child. They're the only child, so they're going to be spoiled. So everything is being given to them. And they're having a problem with the some of the aging Chinese, because there's only one kid, and the kid can't all by himself afford to take care of their parents like they used to be able to do when there were multiple siblings. So this is all that led to Chinese government, the CHICOM, saying no more one child per household thing. Besides, it didn't keep our population down anyway. But look, when you spoil a kid, it doesn't matter what nationality you're in or you are. Making a snowflake is still making a snowflake, and we all suffer for it. Think about that.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve. As they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives, even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option. We won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at findwwp.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. It's Rod Eccles.
And welcome back. 603-835-3226 is the call-in number this Tuesday morning. Was it June number 6 in the year of our Lord 2017 as we continue on. Yes, folks, I admit it. Welcome to all you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the world, by the way. I admit, I often say it. I'm a military brat, and I use that term brat for a reason. I'm an Air Force brat. There are Navy brats, Army brats. I'm an Air Force brat. And I'll admit it, I look back in my childhood, and, we kids in the Eccles household, we were pretty damn spoiled. But again, there were times when my parents just said, no, you want that, you go buy it yourself. Get a job, earn some money. Get a paper route. Guy, I got a paper route. We had my best friend at the time. We had a lawn mowing business one summer. We made bank that year. Damn, it's too bad we didn't save anything. One thing my parents didn't really teach us is how to save. My parents were good at saving. They really were, but they didn't pass that down. I don't know why. I had to learn savings on my own. Didn't learn it from my parents. But yeah, we made some bank that year, man. Woo. We always had money. Me and my best friend that year we were mowing lawns, and then I went on and did bagging, grocery bagging. Yeah, you worked on tips only at the base commissary. You had to be 14 at the time. It was the youngest, and you could be. There were plenty of us high schoolers there, high school seniors, college freshmen, worked at the base commissary. But yeah, but everybody wanted to do it, so you had to wait in line. You had to wait till somebody quit before you could get in. And when somebody quit, you got, and it was your turn. They called you in, and they interviewed you. Yeah, and this is and they didn't even pay you. It was tips only. You had to show that you had the qualifications and the quality, the character to be a bagger, for crying out loud. Just to bag somebody's groceries and take it out to their car. And hopefully they'll give you a tip. I remember, that was actually a fun job. I used to look forward to going on my days. You got a schedule. And you better be there. You weren't there, man. I remember somebody not showing. If you weren't there, if you didn't call in and you weren't there twice, you were suspended. And the next time you didn't show up without permission, you were fired. It's like the 3 strikes, you're out. So you missed once, you got a warning. You missed twice, you got suspended. Missed the 3rd time, you were gone. So, but yeah, I look forward to it, man. It was just, I look back on it now thinking, what were we, crazy? But you know what? When it came time to all the baggers, you had your week. Every bagger had a weekday, and all baggers were there on a weekend. So you got Saturday. So everybody got the equal opportunity there, and you could make quite a bit of money. From tips, because like I said, they didn't pay you salaries, and it was fun. It was like a your little cabal there. It was a lot of nobody tried to cheat anybody either. Nobody skipped ahead of anybody, or we all the baggers respected each other. Now, I don't know how they do it today, but it's rare that somebody maybe because it's not military, it's civilian life, but it's rare that a bagger will take your groceries out to your car for you today. But that was the norm back then. Yeah, I mean, I bought a lot of my own little stuff with that money, and I spent a lot of it going to just doing teenager stuff. You go to the soda shop, whatever. Well, they didn't call them soda shop. The youth center. Wasted your money on that kind of stuff. Again, didn't save a lot of it. Should have. Bought a lot of comic books and just did crazy stuff with it. But it was my own money. I earned it. And I learned that money didn't, you wanted to go to the base exchange, or you go off base to, to Hill's department store, or to we didn't have a Walmart way back then, but we had things called Chapels and Hills and Two Guys and Ames and all those places. And you went to those places, and you learned that your money didn't go as far as you thought it would. Even back then, you go to Burger King. I remember Burger King the Whopper meal, not the Whopper Junior, the Whopper meal costing $3. What is it today for a Whopper? The Whopper Junior meal is like $5. So, yeah, people just didn't understand the value of a dollar. But in honor of today being the commemoration of D-Day, I wanted people to understand what 2 generations did to preserve the United States in such a way that we're capable of having today snowflakes. There was no way in hell after World War I, that generation, could there have been a snowflake? Can you imagine snowflakes in the Great Depression? Oh no, that wouldn't work. We now have a society where it's capable. We're capable of developing and growing an entire generation of snowflakes. It could not have existed before. There's no way in hell you could have had snowflakes during the first half of the 20th century. No way. Too much was going on. There's just no way. But it started with World War I. And a lot of people don't know this song, but some of you probably do. But here's some music in dedication for D-Day today. But we're going to go back from World War II to World War I. This is where it really now, you could say what you want about the diplomacy that led to World War II. Yeah, that's all there. But this was the start of what began and became the greatest generation for World War II. It started with their parents and their grandparents being great. World War I.
Johnny, get your gun, get your gun, get your gun. Take it on the run, on the run, on the run. Hear them calling you and me, every son of liberty. Hurry right away, no delay, go today. Make your daddy glad to have had such a lad. Tell your sweetheart not to pine, to be proud her boys in line. Over there, send the word over there that the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming, the drums coming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer, send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over, over there, over there, over there. Send the word over there, that the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming, the drums coming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer, send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over, over there. Johnny, get your gun, get your gun, get your gun. Johnny, show the Hun you're a son of a gun. Hoist the flag and let her fly. Yankee do or die. Pack your little kit, show your grit, do your bit. Yankee to the ranks from the towns and the tanks. Make your mother proud of you and the old red, white, and blue. Over there, over there. Send the word over there. That the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming. The drums coming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer. Send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over, over there, over there, over there. Send the word over there, that the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming, the drums coming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer, send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over, over there.
Yeah, that was the attitude back then during World War I, that we're going to go over, we're going to kick some butt, and we're not coming back until we're done, until it's done over there, and we're the winner. Today we want to cut and run. You know, people have asked me, well, Rod, you know, you're an Air Force brat. Where did you live? You ever live in these places? Well, no, for the living in the United States, mostly I was just in the, my father, when I was around and alive, was in the northeastern corner of the country, most like. The farthest west I lived was Michigan. And the farthest south, I'm not sure which was farther, I think Ohio was probably the farthest south I lived. So I was stuck in this, but, I got to go to places like Greece and Spain and Italy as a kid. I mean, it's pretty cool. As a kid, I got to see a lot of these places. At the same time, as I said before, I was even though, as a kid, your world is basically your neighborhood or your school, I was under no impression that the United States was loved everywhere that we were. Third grade, being a third grader, getting on board your school bus, and the thing that you see in your school bus beside your school bus driver and your friends and classmates is two fully armed, fully loaded out, fully decked out military police officers there to protect you. I'm not kidding. That was Greece. I mean, and watching your dad, build this car mirror, and every morning checking, raising the hood of the car, checking for bombs, looking under the car with this mirror and getting on his hands and knees and checking, because some American cars had been bombed while we were there. Him hiding the car at night. I mean, the car was green, so it was easier to hide, but literally hiding it behind and in bushes Every night. Can you imagine if a snowflake today had to live that way? This is why I don't have any sympathy for them. Because even though, like every child, our world was our immediate neighborhood and our school, we were not under the impression that we were so damn special that nobody else counted. That there was a big world out there, and you had to look out for it, and you had to be careful for it. Sure, we were protected as much as we possibly could, like any other child, but we were not that kind of spoiled. Today, snowflakes, all they think about is themselves. They've never grown out of the notion that the world is bigger than their neighborhood or their school. This is the real world. And they're realizing that the real world does not really care how special they think that they are. Because to tell you the truth, the real special people, those are the ones in the millennial generation that still volunteer to go into the military and think selflessly so that their friends who they went to high school with can stay at home, put the stupid mask on their face, and be the snowflakes that they are.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Hi, Gordon. What you been up to?
Big things, Fred. I'm a full-time student at bartending college.
Wow. I never had time for a formal education.
Well, I decided to make time, but it's not easy. Bartending college is a 4-week course.
Gee, how far along are you?
Well, let's see. This is Tuesday, the 3rd week. Hey, I'm a junior, and I'm late for a daiquiri lecture. Why don't you join me?
Why not?
Bartending college.
You've already spent enough time on the other side of the bar to qualify for enrollment.
Bartending college.
We'll teach you everything you need to know. You'll get a starter set of bartenders' jokes like...
So I says to the guy, you can stay, but the cow's gotta go.
Bartending college.
You'll learn how to roll drunks, water the liquor, and skim the cash register. And remember, as the bartender, you drink for free.
Last call.
For integrity.
703-835-3226. I know I haven't even really touched the paper pile yet, and we're still not going to be able to touch it because here's something else that needs to be said. You know, we have these snowflakes and the wonderful leftists of this. You want to talk about hypocrites? I mean, and people that have no clue. This whole climate change thing. Folks, let me just break this down for you. Here we have a group of people who believe that man is really in charge of all of this climate change all of a sudden. Now, even though that their own science proves that that all this climate change has happened before we could have affected it. But that's irrelevant. Now, the climate change, as rapid or as slow as it may be, is only due to us. Well, why do they then run around and protect people who are the biggest perpetrators of polluting the planet that there ever was? Do they not realize that war is terrible for the planet? I'm not even talking about nuclear, just conventional war. Look what happened when we tried to defend against tyranny with Desert Shield and Desert Storm. What did Saddam do? He blew up the oil fields. How much pollution was spewed into the air before we were able to cap all those oil fields that he blew up? How about now in the Middle East, all the terrorists, all the stuff that I'm not even talking people, but stuff that they're blowing up and causing fires and all the release of CO2 with their actions all over the planet now. But only us peace-loving people who are trying to live our lives in peace, we're the only ones that are being caught up in this global warming garbage. And yet, they will defend the people who are perpetrating the unnecessary defacing, debasing, and destruction of our planet. I'm not even talking about Hollywood. God, you get into Hollywood. Gee, good. I have said this over and over again, and I'm going to keep saying it. One of probably the planet's biggest waster of energy is the entertainment industry centered in Hollywood. For the Western world, it's centered in Hollywood. What do? They do nothing but waste. Well, we're making a movie. Oh, so blowing up a car is just for a movie. Well, I mean, that's kind of a waste, don't you think? It's just for entertainment. I mean, come on. We're not even going to get into all the Hollywood style theme parks around the globe. For what? For entertainment. Now, I like movies, so I'm not debasing them simply because, but I'm not debasing them simply out of the fact that it's just pure entertainment, because I like to be entertained like anybody else does. But understand this: if you're going to go after energy wasters and earth polluters, the biggest polluters are the hypocrites themselves, like Leonardo DiCaprio, who make movies and television shows. And they put on these so-called, musical concerts. You know how much energy goes into a concert? Just the concert itself, not talking about getting all that crap to the stage. I mean, flying it over and trucking it over. You know how much gas is burned and diesel is burned just to carry all that crap around? I mean, there are no bigger hypocrites on the planet than the Hollywood left, because they are engaged in such a way that if what they said was true, they would be the biggest polluters and biggest reason for climate change on the planet, bar none. Far beyond coal-producing plants, far beyond anybody who drives an SUV, far beyond anybody except some warmonger. Understand, that is the truth. Think about it. I don't even have to try to bring you proof. All I got to say is Hollywood movies cost how much money to produce today? Well, what do you think they're spending it on? Yeah, all that wasted energy. Call Rod now, 666-603-835-3226.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please call or go online right now.
Welcome back, 603-835-3226. I know we're about, I guess we're about literally halfway through the program this morning already. And I think I probably should get to the paper pile for today. There's a lot in here today, too. It's just Eric Trump is out there talking about the Trump-Russia collusion is the greatest hoax of all time. And, well, it is true because, we have all of this stuff. Well, I understand that there are people that want to know the truth. Look, I'm with you. I want to know the truth, too. But how do you get to the truth? You don't get to the truth by making accusations and then going out and trying to find the truth. Or I wouldn't say truth, but trying to find reason or evidence of an accusation. If that's the case, then, our government would be involved in investigation after investigation after investigation for nothing. Some powerful person comes up and says, well, I think that, this person did that. Oh, well, we better investigate it then. Do you have any proof? No, I don't have any proof. I just think it. Okay, well, we'll investigate to see. That's not how it works. In the meantime, we have somebody that we know broke the law, and you refuse to investigate. Why do you refuse to investigate them? Because they're on the quote-unquote right side of politics and liberal thought. Now we've learned over the weekend that there was a raid in Detroit. Well, Dearborn, Michigan. There was a raid in a house, just an average-looking brick house, inner city, suburban inner city house. There are neighborhoods, the city neighborhoods. It's a duplex, brick duplex. And come to find out that the home that was raided by the FBI is occupied by Uma Abedin's brother and sister. Was it sister-in-law or is it sister and brother-in-law? Related to Uma Abedin, who, by the way, is attached at the hip to who? Hillary Rodham Clinton. Yeah. And evidently what they pulled out of there is what some reports are saying is that they found some stuff. And if you look, now this is not hearsay or right-wing news media propaganda. This is Channel 7 Detroit, which is I do believe an NBC affiliate, has video pictures of agents coming out of the house with cardboard boxes filled with what appears to be papers and certain electronic equipment. In other words, probably a computer. So they found stuff. Now, how they got a tip to go there, I don't know. There are some people saying that somebody within the Clinton campaign has cut a deal with the Trump Justice Department. Who could that be? Could that be Uma herself? I'm not going to speculate, but she invited her husband or her estranged husband to move back in. Those are reports. It's in the paper pile too. The reports from last week. Anthony Weiner is. I mean, the guy isn't he going to jail anyway? Why would you do that? You gotta. He pleads guilty, so he's convicted now of what he did and what he's accused of with a 15, 16-year-old girl. Well, Again, I hate to say it, but at least he was being a pervert with the opposite sex. I mean, that's pretty sad to say. At least he was not being a pervert to the same sex. Well, there's a well-to-do prep school here in New Hampshire called the St. Paul's School. And there's another very well-known prep school out towards the seacoast called Phillips Exeter Academy in Exeter, New Hampshire. Both schools have been rocked recently by sexual scandals, sex scandals. Now we're talking. This is where the well-heeled and uppity and well-to-do send. These are boarding schools, by the way. In other words, you send your kid here, and your kid's going to live here at these schools. It's like you're sending them off to college, but they're in grade school and high school. So these are where the well-heeled go. And these kids are being taken advantage of. And there are a number of scandals right now that are rocking these two well-known, well-established institutes of learning going back decades now. I mean, at Exeter, they're looking at going, well, sure, St. Paul's School, too, they're going back to the 70s for some of these cases. And this is the norm. This is not an exception. This is the norm. We're hearing about cases at private schools, these places where the well-heeled and wealthy send their children. And often you get people who try to get these scholarships for the kids because they can't afford to send their kids there. And there's what is the name of it? There's a private school, prep school in Vermont, southern Vermont, just outside of Brattleboro. It's like $18,000 a year to send your kid there. We're talking basically, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. Nearly $20,000 a year. Who the hell can afford that? People do. And because they're not there to protect, the parents are not there to protect their kids are open to anything and anybody. And this is coming to light. Now, if you're thinking about sending your kid to a private school like this, I would think twice. But these are the kids, but listen, I've heard some of the stuff that these kids believe because their teachers are teaching them this. Like from the St. Paul, the St. Paul school kids, they go to downtown Concord. They don't have anything else to do or anywhere else to go because there isn't a lot for kids in the city of Concord. So they're downtown at the bookstores or the coffee shops or what have you, and you hear them talking. And I hear these St. Paul. I mean, they're not even out of 12th grade yet. They haven't even graduated from high school yet, and they're talking like they think they're adults, like they know everything because of what their teachers have told them about people like Donald Trump. Donald Trump's a pussy. I've heard these words out of these kids. Donald Trump's a pussy. Well, Mr. So-and-so from sociology says that Donald Trump is this and Donald Trump is that. And it's just not, he shouldn't be president and he lost actually and all kinds of stuff. I'm thinking this is what they're actually teaching. But the good news is I hear some kids fighting back. I hear some kids saying, well, no, that's stupid. Of course he won. That's why he's the president. I hear some kids fighting back. They're not, this new generation, I don't think that they're good. I don't think that they're just going to take stuff at face value. They're going to question the hell out of stuff. Yeah, I think we're starting to see that. I hear some kids asking, they kind of sound like adults. Some of them. It's kind of amazing, actually. Because they ask pointed questions back at some people who are just buying it. And they're calling out their friends. They're saying, man, you're stupid for falling for that. It's in a bookstore a couple of weeks ago. I heard it. 3 boys were talking about Trump And one of them just started asking the other two questions. Pointed questions. And he looked at one of them because one of them kept doubling down. He said, "You're just stupid, man, if you believe that crap." Well, he didn't say crap. He said shit, actually. Trying to be nice. And he looked at him and said, "You got to think for yourself. Everybody knows that Mr. I can't remember the guy's name. It sounded kind of like, it would be Polish if you said it was like Brzezinski or Brzezinski or something like that." He said, if you everybody knows that he's an idiot, why would you believe him? So I think that there are going to be some kids who are fighting back. I think this new the Generation Z is said to be turning out to be much more conservative than their predecessors or their older siblings who are millennials. I don't know how that's happening. Maybe they're looking at what their older siblings are doing and have done and said, "We're not doing that. That's just stupid." But for instance, you have what is this person? Sarah Reality Lee Winner. Evidently her name is Reality. Now that's not her birth government. Her government name, I do believe, is Sarah. But at some point, I'm sure her parents are very proud that she changed her name to Reality. There you go. That should tell you all you need to know right there. But anyway, she was arrested over the weekend she leaked information. That's espionage. And you have all these people, don't even get me started on CNN and MS Mess. But anyway, they all are perpetrating stuff that is not true. They want it to be true. And they want it to be true so bad that they're focusing their energy on making it true. And it's not true at all. So you have somebody out there who's even leaking even the leaked information pretty much shows that all this stuff that they're talking about with Donald Trump is not true. Just like here, when we talk about leaving the poor behind. Donald Trump doesn't like poor people. Do you realize that now they've doubled down on Donald Trump being a racist? Not in his hiring. Now understand this. Not in his hiring practices. But Donald Trump doesn't rent to poor black people. Donald Trump doesn't rent to poor white people. He doesn't rent to poor Asian. His buildings are not for the poor. But because he does not build housing for the poor, that makes him a racist. Simply because he wants to build. Look, if you're a rich black person and can afford a Trump apartment or condo, he'll sell it to you. He'll rent it. He doesn't care what color your skin. But since Donald Trump doesn't build housing that's affordable to the poor people, and white liberals attribute poorness to being black or Latino, who's racist again? Really? Well, that makes Donald Trump a racist because he won't build housing for the poor. How much housing do we need for the poor? I mean, I'm just saying we got housing for the poor out the wazoo. And yet we still can't seem to be able to house and take care of people who really are poor or who really are homeless. The people who really do need a hand up. They are the ones that fall through the cracks. They can't seem to get anything. But those people who just want to sit at home on their fat ass and watch Jerry Springer all day long and refuse to get a job of any kind, but then complain that they're not getting enough from the government, i.e. you and me, Well, those are the people that CNN and MSNBC are talking about. But here's the problem, though, and this is how you know that all of these wonderful liberal types of things are simply to redistribute wealth and not help the poor at all, because 13 Alabama counties, and this is from Alabama News, AL.com, 13 Alabama counties saw an 85% drop in food stamp participation after work requirements were restarted in the state. The state of Maine saw something similar to this. Similar statistics, like it was 80+%. LePage instituted work requirements in order to receive food stamp assistance within the state. Get a job, or really actively look for a job, or get some college, any education program. You can go through an accredited educational program, even with the state, and then you can qualify for food stamps. You know that there are people that complain, and I shouldn't have to work for my food. That is what one quote-unquote person on food stamps said. I'm not doing it. They kicked off nearly 90% of the people on food stamps. Well, most of them ended up getting jobs. So if they got a job, because the unemployment rate in Maine right now is like 3.5%. So the reason why a lot of these people no longer get food stamps is because they were forced to find jobs, which then paid them more than being on government assistance. But you don't hear that from liberals. They don't want you to know that kind of stuff. They want you to stick to that. Donald Trump is, he colluded with the Russians in order to steal the election from Hillary. Well, Hillary's the only one who broke the law. And yet they will tell you that Donald Trump is the racist. Meanwhile, when you actually try to help people to put them back to work, some of them will refuse that assistance because all they want is a handout, because they got used to somebody just giving them something for nothing.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar. Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar. And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Warning. Listening to the Rod Eccles Show by the Idiot Left may cause outrage, fear, a need for safety pins and/or spaces. If you experience any of these symptoms or are allergic to truth, tune in and learn something.
603-835-3226. A little bit of rock and roll there for you. Get you going in on this dreary. Is it dreary where you are? Because it's really dreary up here in New England. It's just we're not expected to actually have warm summer-like weather, even spring weather, a little bit of sun for the next few days. I guess not till but even though when we get some sun, like heading into the weekend, they're saying, chances of a shower or a thunderstorm, brief thunderstorm. Yeah, nice. That always works. Mix that in with sun. Try to make it sound sunny. Yeah, you're going to get a little bit of sun, but you're going to have a little thunderstorm too at the same time. You got to give it to them. They're trying to be positive about it, but well, Rod, you're just being negative. No, I'm being actual and factual. Yeah, sure, there may be some sun, but there may be they're predicting a thunderstorm on the same day. Anyway, this from Fortune magazine. This is a little strange here. Harvard yanks 10 acceptance letters over offensive Facebook post. Now, this is just the breakdown of it. These future students that are entering freshmen this September posted memes about rape, dead children, Holocaust, all kinds of, just ridiculous, poor taste jokes and memes. They even had a meme joke saying that hanging a Mexican child should be called piñata time. And Harvard has decided that they don't want them anymore to come to their school. Now, how did Harvard find out about this? Now, understand that you're thinking, well, this is a meme. Those kids should know better. They put this stuff out there. But here's what they did. They put it in a private, closed Facebook group. It's a private and closed. Now, somebody in the group basically narked on these kids. And Harvard then demanded that every student that was a part of this group that is going to Harvard submit every single post that they posted to the group. Now, again, this is a private group. It's a private, closed group. And when the kids complied, stupid kids as they are, they complied, Harvard said, well, you're not going to get to come to Harvard now because we don't like what you said. Folks, not making this stuff up. I know it's sick, but that's the truth.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
When I found out I had atrial fibrillation, a serious but highly treatable heart condition, the first thing I thought of was who would take care of my wife and children if anything were to happen to me. My doctor recommended Prevactin. I had a lot of questions, so I did some research. It turns out Prevactin is the #1 recommended drug for Crohn's disease. I think my doctor's trying to kill me and steal my wife.
Doctors. They'll stop at nothing to get your wife.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow, they pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire is Rod Eccles.
And welcome back. Yes, indeed, it is hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. 603-835-3226 is the call-in number. Past this 3 hours of Internet Talk Radio is right here on the Rod Eccles Show. Thank you for tuning in, all of you wonderful liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. We are, I know people are, some people are asking and they're getting impatient. You guys got to be patient. There is some new stuff coming. There is something, if my web guy says that it's good to go, either this afternoon or tomorrow afternoon, there's going to be a new addition to the website, rodeccles.net. So just want to make sure that everything is working for you before we give it to you. Because the last thing we want is to put stuff out there that doesn't work, then people will be going, why doesn't this work? You know, you're putting out junk. This doesn't work. Well, I learned from that mistake a long time ago. When, when there wasn't much WYSIWYG stuff out there, when you actually had to build and code and stuff like that, your website or your blog site or something. I remember. Anybody remember GeoCities? Yeah, Yahoo GeoCities. Yeah, I had a couple of blogs on GeoCities, and I learned the hard way. Say, well, yeah, you put something out there, and you don't test it. Even back then, it didn't work. Man, you got all kinds of negative feedback even back then. That doesn't work. Your button doesn't work. Your site is junk. Never coming back here again. I get stuff. I learned way back then not to, to make sure that stuff actually worked before you actually put it into play. So, again, it was already supposed to be there, but one, I didn't like the way it looked, and two, it didn't work. So we had to go back. For whatever reason, there was something screwed up in the code, and it had nothing to do, I don't think it had anything to do with our end. It was just a bug in the code or something that had to be, and I think you had to go back to the writers of the program, of the whatever they call it, to fix something, and So they did. They issued an update to the theme. The owners of the theme. They issued an update. So I think that maybe it was. Look, I'm not a techie. I'll admit that all day long. I'm not a techie. I don't know how to code. I don't know how to write all this stuff. If it's not, I've been spoiled. Yeah. Speaking of spoiled, we've been spoiled by WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get kind of stuff. All these wonderful themes and plugins. You don't have to learn. You don't have to know how to code. And which is actually pretty dangerous because we don't know what the hell these people are putting in these things, in these themes and in these plugins. We don't know because we're not coding it ourselves, so we have no clue. We just go out and say, okay, that looks good, so we're going to plug it in. You go and you get an app. You don't know what the hell is in an app. We don't know what's in apps, but we download apps, like you would not believe, especially if they're free or near free. Near free meaning, 99 a buck or less, 99 cents. And it's just, that's nothing. I mean, if your credit card, because Apple does this, if your credit card information is already on file with Google Play or Apple, it takes you. It's just, it's not. I don't even think it's really an extra button you got to click in order to get the download. If it's 99 cents, people don't even think about it. Yeah, well, click, we'll get it. They don't even miss the dollar. I mean, really, do people really miss the dollar? I mean, because how many apps do you buy for $1? So, no, you don't really miss it. You don't even notice it. I don't care who you are. You don't even notice it. So, but we don't know what's in these apps. Especially the game apps especially. People, you want to talk about, people will scrutinize a utility app. We'll screw. But a game app, that game looks like it's fun. And they'll download it without checking it out, and they'll download it immediately. How many times have you done? I've done it. I don't play many games. SimCity Build It, I've been playing for a while. I play Boom Beach. I saw Boom Beach. I'm just as guilty as the next person. I saw Boom Beach advertised somewhere on TV, I think. I'm like, oh, man, that looks cool. I want to play that. Looked up Boom Beach, download it. Didn't even check it out. Just downloaded it. Didn't check it out. I still play, it was like a year ago now. I still play it. Forge of Empires, another one, did the same thing. Now, it took me a couple of weeks to do I really want to play? It looks really cool. Do I want to play another game? Do I have time? Did I check it out? Check out the reviews? No, I just went by the damn TV commercial and downloaded it. And so, does that make me stupid? Well, it makes me typical. So all this stuff happens, this is how all this malware and stuff is propagated, folks. It's simply because, because it's so innocuous, we don't even bother to check anymore. I mean, we load a theme for a WordPress site, or we load a plugin for something in, and we don't know if we're doing, if we don't, I do my best to try to check stuff out and make sure that, it has high, if I'm doing plugins and themes and stuff, make sure it has high ratings, high rankings. Lots of people have done it or used it or tried it before I utilize it. But when it comes to games, I don't promote any games. But how many times have you checked out a game? If the Russians wanted to hack the election, all they had to do was introduce some viral games. They didn't have to go through all the trouble that the left is trying to say that they did. All they had to do was corrupt a few viral games. That's it. They didn't have to go through all that other kind of trouble. It's just ridiculous. Because nobody checks games. No, really, nobody checks a game. Do you check a game? Nobody checks a game. This Harvard Frosh student thing that came to light, and that Fortune.com is reporting on. Here's the gist of it. Here's the skinny of it. A handful of admitted students to Harvard formed the messaging group titled Harvard Memes for Horny Bourgeois Teens. That's what they once called it. They originally called it Harvard Memes for Horny Bourgeois Teens. And this took place, and it was formed in late December of 2016, according to 2 incoming freshmen. Now, in the group, students sent each other memes and other images mocking sexual assault, and Holocaust information and stuff, deaths of children. According to screenshots of the chat obtained by the Crimson, which is a Harvard publication, some of the messages joked about abusing children was sexually arousing, while others had punchlines directed at specific ethnic or racial groups. One called the hypothetical hanging of a Mexican child piñata time. Now first of all, these are well-heeled, well-to-do Muffy and Buffy types of children. I can't believe, Muffy, that our child would even say such things. Well, if they're from a leftist family, they probably learned it from their parents. If truth be told, the Facebook group in question reportedly came about after some students last December started an obscene version of another Facebook group devoted to funny memes. Now, the students in both groups met each other through an official Facebook group run by Harvard for newly admitted students. So we're talking we're talking Harvard here. Now, on the heels of this story, there is a Wall Street Journal story about exclusive test data. Many colleges fail to improve or teach critical thinking skills. Folks, I can't make this stuff up. The same day that we get the Fortune story about Harvard removing or rescinding some of its some students' invitation to join them in September, we also get the Wall Street Journal story talking about colleges failing to improve critical thinking or teach critical thinking skills to its students. And I did a quick search. This is not new. There are studies going back to 2011. Many college students not learning to think critically. This is from McClatchy back in 2011. So this is nothing new. So we've had for a half decade at least, knowing that if this was a study done back then, that it took for all the information to come in. So this is a decade-old study. And that says that they were not even teaching critical thinking. Well, it's not even in college that they're not teaching it. Obviously, it's in high school. Because if you are a high school student and you are thinking before you post, you know that even in a private group on Facebook, you should not post this kind of stuff. Because why? Because you got there because of Harvard. And you named your group Harvard something, something, something. Did you think they weren't going to find out? Well, if you can't think critically and think outside your own little world, no, you're not going to think anything like that. Not at all. There is no critical thinking anymore. You want to tell me that the snowflakes that occupy Wall Street or the snowflakes at Antifa or Black Lives Matter, you think they're thinking critically? Oh, hell no, they're not thinking at all. They're just reacting to their own damn feelings. And their feelings are based on their own little world. There's no thinking involved. So we've got study after study after study after study being reported by the likes of the Wall Street Journal, McClatchy, Online Library, criticalthinking.org, and all other kinds of places talking about that students today, especially college students, aren't being taught and aren't having their critical thinking skills improved at all. They're not. They're just being told to go on their feelings. Feelings is not critical thinking. It's not. There is another study here from ResearchGate.net. 45% of college students lack critical thinking skills. Story back from 2016. All right, let's see. Critical thinking things through. Today's college students can't do it. From the electrocollege.edu site. Do we have I was just surprised by all this critical thinking studies that have gone on over the past decade. No wonder we've got snowflakes. No wonder we've got Antifa. No wonder we've got Occupy Wall Street. No wonder Bernie Sanders, who, by the way, made over $1 million last year, the poor man's rich man, I guess. No wonder all those Bernie Sanders supporters support Sanders, because none of them have been taught how to think for themselves. It's all on feelings. There is no critical thinking in the millennial generation. It's rare.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Go along with today being D-Day, I wanted to replay something that we've played here before. I also want to remind folks out there that if you have a vet in your family or in your life, and the vet is no longer with us, they've passed away, you can write a tribute, and we'll read the tribute here on the air. Every Thursday we do this, Military Thursdays. It's Military Tribute Thursday. Basically, all you got to do is just write it down. Make sure you include their name, their rank upon leaving the service, the years of their service, the year that they were born, and the year of their passing. And list any of the accomplishments that they had while in the military. Did they get any awards or medals for valor, bravery, what have you? Any of that kind of stuff, and about briefly what they did, and we will read it. That tribute on the air. Now, please understand that we do reserve the right to edit it so it can fit the time allotted. But make it sound like a real honest tribute, because I don't think that a lot of our vets who have passed on, and it doesn't matter how long as long as you knew them, they could be a World War II vet. I don't think we have any World War I vets still alive, or anybody who really knows them. But yeah, you get to any war, any veteran from any time that you know. They didn't even have to actually have served in a war. I mean, they could have just been in active duty, and maybe they were killed in an accident while serving their country. It doesn't matter. If there is somebody that you know that is no longer with us here on this planet, that is a U.S. military veteran, you can honor them by writing a tribute to them and sending it to me here at rodeccles.net. That is the email. And we will read it on the air. We will read tributes every Thursday. It's Military Tribute Thursday. But I wanted to bring this particular song to you because it's apropos for D-Day as well. And we've played it here before, but you guys know it. But this is in honor of that fateful day back in 1940, during World War II in the 1940s. This is why that we're all able to be here today, freely expressing our opinions about the left and the right, is because what they did on this day, some 73 years ago.
Fighting soldiers from the sky, fearless men who jump and die, men who mean just what they say, the brave men of the Green Beret, silver wings upon their chest. These are men, America's best. 100 men will test today, but only 3 win the Green Beret. Trained to live off nature's land, trained in combat hand to hand, men who fight by night and day, courage take from the Green Beret, silver wings upon their chest. These are men, America's best. 100 men will test today, but only 3 win the Green Beret. Back at home, a young wife waits. Her Green Beret has met his fate. He has died for those oppressed, leaving her this last request. Put silver wings on my son's chest. Make him one of America's best. He'll be a man they'll test one day. Have him win the Green Beret.
And there you have it. Understand, yeah, it is still about men, and not. There isn't a female Green Beret yet. I don't think there ever will be, unless we dumb down the system. It's just a physically demanding and mentally demanding job. Yeah, sure, women could do the mental stuff, but the physical stuff 99.9% of women could not meet that. After all, there are, you heard it, only 3% of the men make it. And this is what these people volunteer to do. Understand? They volunteer. Folks, you want to talk about the best of the best. And they volunteer. Anybody volunteer to be a snowflake?
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Bring the rain.
Welcome back. 603-835-3226. Glad that you are here. Just one of those things this Tuesday morning that I have had to go through and try to figure out what kind of sad facts am I going to have to bring to you today. Now, I know everybody's thinking, well, Trump this and Trump that, all this sad stuff around Trump. Yeah, I know. All the talking heads are going to be talking about Trump. I talk about Trump too, mostly in a positive light. It's not 100% positive, but greater than 90%, because I believe in Trump's agenda, most of it. I believe what he's trying to do, and I believe that this is a man that truly loves his country and is doing everything that he can within his heart to try to help this country and make it great again. I have no doubt in my mind that is his goal. I may disagree on a few of his points on how to get there. You know, for instance, healthcare. I don't think there should be any government involved in healthcare. He thinks there should be some. I don't think there should be. I think there should not be a repeal and replace. It should just be repeal when it comes to Obamacare. So I disagree with him on that, and I'm very adamant on that. But I got to tell you, for the most part, just about everything that he's done thus far has been a positive for this country, and I've agreed with. Not going to deny it. I support the president. Now, I know some people have accused me, well, you're trying to hide behind this. No, I'm not trying to hide behind anything. I don't hide anything. If I did, I vehemently disagree with the repeal and replace part of his agenda. Is that hiding anything? I don't think so. I think it's pretty damn clear. I believe it should just be repeal. Get the government the hell out. That's it. I've been pretty clear on that. I don't think that's hiding. But I also like to bring you other information that could affect you in some way, especially when it comes to technology, because technology is moving so damn fast. I don't think that we actually take time to stop and think about how it's going to affect us in the future, either near future or distant future. And for some people, this might be that moment, the zombie apocalypse. This might be that moment. Should we be doing something like this? Now, nobody's debating it. They're just going ahead and trying to do it. What are they trying to do? Well, the Daily Mail has a story. Could we soon reverse death? That's the headline. U.S. company to start trials for reawakening dead tissue in Latin America. A U.S. firm called BioQuark, BioQuark, plans to test stem cell theory on brain-dead patients. The method, which hasn't been tested on animals, will be tested in Latin America. The team outlined a trial proposal last year to do it in India, but they were shut down for obvious reasons. Now, am I afraid of technology? Am I afraid of some scientific advances? Hell yes, because we don't know what we're doing.
Well, Rod, how are we going to know what we're doing unless we go out and try to do it? We didn't know what we were doing when we went out to outer space, when we went to the moon, but we had to do it in order to know what we were doing.
No, we had a pretty good idea about going to the moon. We had some good, solid scientific theory to back us and how to get to the moon and how to get there and back safely. And we used that theory, and it worked. Now, along the way, we learned a lot of stuff, sure. But there is no theory behind this whatsoever. It can only end badly. So just because we can do something, should we? Is there such a thing as having justified fear? I think there is. Is there such a thing as needing to take a step back and say, okay, have we thought about all the possible ramifications? Because we haven't. I'm sorry, but we haven't. The first attempt to bring people back from the dead are slated to start later this year. BioQuark, a Philadelphia-based company, announced in late 2016 that they believe brain death is not irreversible. And now CEO Ira Pastor has revealed they will soon be testing an unprecedented stem cell method on patients in an unidentified country in Latin America, confirming the details in the next few months. No. Folks, isn't this how, I know we're talking entertainment here, but isn't this how a lot of these zombie movies get started? Something this innocuous gets out of control? Because somebody somewhere wants to live forever or wants to bring back, a tyrant or something, and the next thing you know, we're off to the zombie apocalypse races. Now, look, we've unleashed a lot of things on society by accident. And there are some things that people say were released on purpose. But Ebola? Anybody remember the Ebola scare? That was supposedly released by accident. Killer bees, these hybrid killer bees were released on... Now we can't get rid of them. Released by accident. This stuff happens. And all this scientific experiment ends up affecting the rest of the world in real time. Often in a very negative way. Now, it's not... wouldn't care if they were going to test this on animals. The last thing we need is a zombified wolf or dog or bear or something roaming out there. Would you be able to? I don't know if it's reanimated. Will it be? Is it still dead? If you're brain dead, you're dead, right? As far as we know. But if you reanimate the brain, does it reanimate everything else? Are you still dead? Are you still you? We haven't even decided yet if there. Now, me being a Christian, I believe that there is a soul. But if you come back. If they reanimate your body, will your soul come back? Will it be yanked in from the great beyond? What are we going to? Are we hoping to learn something from the great beyond? Do we want to know what's in the great beyond, really? There are so many questions that have not been even asked, let alone answered. And they just want to jump forward and go ahead and do it. I'm sorry, folks. I like scientific advancement as much as the next person. I really do. But there are some things that we really should think about before we do them. And it's not just the zombie apocalypse thing here. Like, I'm not into zombie movies, really. I don't really buy into all that kind of stuff. But when somebody really presents it, there are a number of different things out there that you have to think about. You bring somebody back to life. Sure, it's probably not going to be like all the zombie movies. They're not going to be these undead, dead things walking around that you can only kill by either, shooting them in the head or chopping off their head. That's not the point. The point is there such a thing, a part of every human existence as a soul? If you bring back somebody, does that soul come back? Question is, if there is a soul and the soul comes back, how affected is that soul going to be from in the afterlife? Or if you can't bring back that soul, that means you've just awoken a soulless person. What are they going to do? If they have no soul, no humanity in them, it's just a biological entity that's walking around that can think and look at things, what are they going to do? What could possibly be the outcome? Is this outcome more negative than positive? I think it is. Have we bothered to even at least try to theorize and how to handle it if it does? I don't think they have. It's just, hey, man, we got to try this. We think we can do it. We're going to do it. Without thinking of the no critical thinking here. Sorry. There isn't much there. Because I honestly believe that if they really critically thought about it, they would do it in a much more controlled environment, and they would do all kinds of pre-human experiments before they actually got to this point. To really try to figure out what is the possibility of reanimating the dead. Really, because this is all this is. What are we going to bring back? What is this going to do to humanity? Is this going to create some sort of new diseases that we don't know about yet? There's a lot we just don't understand about the world in different dimensions, folks. And I don't know if we're tampering with that now. I believe we are. And are we ready for it? I don't think we are quite ready for it. Did you see this on the New York streets? Evidently from a Gateway pundit. Muslims take over New York Street. Parts of Fifth Avenue start praying in front of Trump Tower for Ramadan. Yeah, New York Muslims continued, and this was over the weekend, continued with their civilization jihad as they took over the street in front of the Trump Tower during iftar, or breaking their Ramadan fast. There is no reason for this other than Muslims letting the infidels know that they here are working on their Islamic takeover. They've done this numerous times in different places, in different cities. They've had these mass calls to prayer out in public. Now, I'm sorry, folks. No, I thought you're supposed to pray in private. What good does it do unless you're trying to intimidate someone or show someone how good you are to pray in public like this? I've always been against these massive public prayers. Christ said himself, pray in private. If you're looking for a reward, then that's what your reward is going to be, what you're looking for, not in heaven. So pray in private. I mean, but, you try having a Christian prayer. Anybody remember that when Obama snubbed the some of those prayer day breakfasts, National Prayer Day breakfasts? You try praying and you try saying a Christian prayer in public, and all hell breaks loose, literally. You get all kinds of people coming out of the woodwork talking and trying to prevent you from praying in public if you use the name Jesus or Christian. Try being a Christian and praying in praying in public, and see how well that goes for you. Doesn't work out very well. Yet these Muslims can gather together, and everybody's taking pictures of them and thinking it's wonderful. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Look, we've got Barack and Mohammed down there praying, George. It's just a wonderful. And didn't the president the former president once say one of the most beautiful sounds I've ever heard was the Muslim call to prayer. Love it. Sounds great. What about a Christian call to prayer? What about a Jewish call to prayer? How about a Buddhist call to prayer? Or a Sikh call to... No, just the Muslim call to prayer was a beautiful sound to that president. Yeah, disgusting. By the way, anybody know? I don't know. Does any other Bible or religious scripture anywhere, call for the death of people who do not believe? The Talmud, the Old Testament say that? No, not. How about Christian Bible? No. New Testament? No, not in there either, huh? How about the holy scriptures or holy books of the Sikh? Any Sikhs running around, holy wars, jihading anywhere? No. Buddhist? No, Buddhist taking up? No. Confucianism? Any Confucius out there? Demanding that infidels die? No. Huh. Any other religion? Gaelic? Any Druids? No. Paganism? No. Witchcraft? Wiccan? No. None of those, huh? No world religion anywhere calls for the death of people who do not believe in, and no religion anywhere calls for you to seek out wherever they may be on the planet and get them to either convert or die. Well, there's only one religion that does that. Really? Huh. Which one is that again? Oh, yeah, right. Islam. But hey, most people are not radical.
What if I told you that you could lose weight simply by drinking coffee? Change your coffee, change your life. Our gourmet estate-grown coffee is infused with powerful herbs that help you melt fat and keep you from feeling hungry for 6+ hours. Get results or your money back. Order yours today at skinnycoffeeshop.com. That's skinnycoffeeshop.com. Tea and water also available. skinnycoffeeshop.com.
Have a legal problem and need some serious legal advice? Then you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Any facts we say here are probably wrong, and any analysis of the law should not be followed.
There you go. Reasonable Men are here to take a twisted look at the law.
Stack your hayride.
Learn in hand. Best name in law school.
Check us out on iTunes, reasonablemen.com, or on your favorite podcast app.
Reasonable Men are back.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We got a couple of stories that to end the day. One has to do with Uber. Well, it doesn't really have to do directly with Uber. It's indirectly having to do with Uber. Out in Chicago, it seems like there are a bunch of Chicago cabbies that are losing money, and they're going bankrupt because ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft and others have entered the city and causing many of these people not to be able to afford to pay their loan payments on medallions for being a taxi driver. And some of these medallion sales went for sale for over $350,000. Plus, they got to pay another $2,500 annually to the city just to be able to drive their damn cars, the taxis, for the ability just to pick up somebody who hails them on the street. But they can't. Their ridership on taxis is down 45% in the last 3 years, which means people would prefer to use Uber, Lyft, Via, and other ride-hailing applications versus taxis. So who's to blame? Taxi drivers, in my book. But this is a bigger story yet. Going to keep an eye on this one. A Rochester City Court judge, Leticia Astacio, Astacio, was led away from her chambers in handcuffs. Yes, Rochester Court deputies and city police officers executed a bench warrant issued for Judge Leticia Astacio, arrested last week after she missed a Tuesday court appearance related to an August drunk driving conviction. The judge thought she could get away with something, and another judge issued a bench warrant and said, "Nah, you're not above the law, there, lady. Sorry, you're." Oh well, there are people out there that are wishing that this would happen with Clinton. Now I don't know if this judge Astacio is a Clinton fan or not, but. Maybe she should move to Washington, D.C., or better yet, maybe she should have, instead of going into work, maybe she should have called herself an Uber ride to head out to Chicago. Yeah, folks, you can't make this stuff up. It's incredible. I know it is, but you got a judge who evidently was convicted of drunk driving, and didn't want to go into court. And by the way, she's being led away, and she did the perp walk, the frog walk. But instead of having her head held down in shame, she's smiling away. I'm guessing she's proud of being a judge who was convicted of drunk driving and didn't show up to court. I wonder how many times she threw somebody in jail for not showing up promptly to her court. Typical hypocrite. Unbelievable. We're out of time for today. We'll be here tomorrow. Intel report tomorrow. Bombshell going to be dropped tomorrow, so don't miss it. Tell your friends. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Rod Eccles. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Lapdogs in the press keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain what, why it is, what they done, or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled. and you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For Clinton, what's loaded in some fat apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.